The following content is in no way meant to promote hatred, marginalization, discrimination, threats, or violence against any group based on age, caste, disability, ethnicity, gender identity and expression, nationality, race, immigration status, religion, sex, gender, sexual orientation, victim of a major violent event in their kin, or veteran status. All examples given are to assist in education, humor, and edification. All screen caps or video segments are only included for the purpose of satirical commentary and fall within fair use. So I thought it would be fun to look at the YouTube community guidelines. Let's read it together and react together. So policies and safety. When you use YouTube, you join a community of people from all over the world. Every cool new community feature on YouTube involves a certain level of trust. Millions of... Hold on. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Millions of users respect that trust, and we trust you to be responsible too. And the trust has to be trusty trust, and following the guidelines trusts below helps you keep YouTube fun and enjoyable for everyone. Oh my gosh, for everyone? For me too, YouTube? Well, maybe not you, Joe, because you live in a weird Orwellian fear of whether or not your videos will be released, causing a horrible chilling effect where you don't do anything. You might not like everything that you see on YouTube. If you think that content is inappropriate, use the flagging feature to submit it for review by our YouTube staff. Our staff carefully reviews flagged content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to determine whether there's a violation of our community guidelines. Oh God, let's watch this.
Every day, millions of people around the world post content to Google platforms.
Wait, isn't this what I... Oh, why'd you stop playing?
Every day, millions of people around the world post content to Google platforms. Things like videos on YouTube, blog posts on Blogger, and social media posts on Google+. Occasionally, people are concerned about the content they see on our platforms.
Oh no.
Some people tell us they've seen content that they think violates the law. Others think they found something that is against our content policies. The rules for our communities. We want people to tell us when they see content that may violate our policies. This can include bullying, hate speech, graphic violence, or sexually explicit content. On many Google products, there's a way to let us know about these kinds of violations.
What is hate speech?
Seriously. When deciding whether something is against our policies, we review complaints on a case-by-case basis. If it's determined that the flagged content violates our guidelines, we take it down. Repeat offenders often face penalties. For instance, on YouTube, users may have some of their account privileges revoked for a while. Too many strikes, and the account is disabled.
Oh no.
In addition to responding to community concerns, we want to make sure the content on our platforms is legal. In many cases, the best way to address a legal issue is to reach out to the person who uploaded the content. Often, they'll remove or modify it on your request. But sometimes, that won't work. In that case, we've got a webpage that will route your complaints to the right team.
This is so cute.
When considering a legal notice, we carefully assess the
this
information.
horrible nightmare
It's important to properly name
Huxleyan
the content, specify the law usually
dystopia
violated,
you're making.
and why you have the right to
It's
get
so
this
great.
content. Without this information, we may be unable to understand or process your legal claim. We work hard to respond fairly and accurately to legal and community concerns. That's how we maintain vibrant communities, while staying true to our commitment to free expression.
Now you can see my recommended video. Yes, I watch Dope or Nope, okay? And I watch this bullshit comedy. Oh look, it's telling me I've got an alert because of the coronavirus, everybody. Yeah, I don't want to die of coronavirus. I've had the last few weeks off school because of that. I'm worried about that. I'm hoping to make a video about it, but I've been hoping to make a video for 2 years now, and I've left you all with blue balls, so sorry about that. Anyway, let's look here. Nudity, what not allowed is nudity or sexual content, okay. There was actually an artist's model YouTube channel I used for life drawing that had to stop because of this. Let's see here. Harmful or dangerous content. This sounds like something that could apply to us. None of our content is harmful or dangerous, but certainly nothing I post can be seen as nudity or sexual content, despite what you might have heard from some places. I have not posted any nudity or sexual content, okay? So anyway, harmful or dangerous content. Those post videos that encourage others to do things that might cause them to get badly hurt, especially kids. Okay, I don't do this. Unless I talk about maybe telling the truth. Hey, even though there are social repercussions, you should try to tell the truth when it's possible. That can get you badly hurt. But anyway, videos showing such harmful or dangerous acts may be age restricted or removed depending on their severity. Okay, well, I think it's pretty safe to say we're not doing this. You got more stuff, violent or graphic content. Now, I was thinking of showing some of the results of farm attacks and stuff, and this would fall under it. I believe Colin Flaherty gets his videos removed because of the violent or graphic content warning thing. So yeah. That's definitely not me. But anyway, let's see what it all is. Of course, hate speech, hateful content. So you can't express the human emotion of hate, So, like, Mr. Plinkett's Star Wars review, you got to remove that because he hates Star Wars. Oh wait, no, I forgot. He fucking loves Star Wars. So maybe that one, I don't know, that won't count. So anyway, we'll give this one a closer look because obviously this is the one I'm worried about. I don't believe that any of my content is made to inspire hate, but this is what I've previously gotten now expired content strikes on. None of the stuff here is meant to be hateful. It's meant to be edifying. It's just meant to be my personal opinion. I don't think that I should be punished for just expressing my personal opinion, right? So we've got that. Let's keep going. We've got harassment or cyberbullying, spam, misleading metadata and scams, threats, copyright, privacy, impersonation, child safety, and additional policies. So I support most of this stuff. You shouldn't be putting stuff that puts children at risk. You shouldn't be doxing someone and letting out private information. You shouldn't pretend to be someone you're not and steal their identity. None of these things are included in free speech, by the way. Fraud and identity theft and those sorts of things, those aren't free speech, despite what you might have heard, right? Okay, you've got copyright. This is something I actually don't agree with. I think that it's a false restriction on something that's got no limits on it already. So it's like putting a false restriction on something like that. I think that that it's something I'm not going to break, though. Like, I'm not going to just post somebody's copywritten content. Let's quickly read through copyright. Respect copyright. Only upload videos that you made or that you're authorized to use. Okay, so I'll use fair use stuff because I think that's fine. But yeah, it's shitty to just upload other people's content. This means that don't upload videos that you didn't make or use content in your videos that someone else owns the copyright to, such as music tracks, snippets of copyrighted programs or videos made by other users without necessary authorizations. Now, you see, I would have thought fair use would be a necessary authorization. I might want to do a review or something. I know many mainstream channels have had problems like this. For a smaller channel like mine, and especially one that talks about events and uncomfortable situations in a joking way, YouTube has shown it doesn't want that on its platform. But I want to, upload videos that I think can stay on YouTube's platform. There's some videos I'm really sorry I had to take down, which is all of them. But there was one specifically about violent, hateful threats towards white South Africans. Now, those are violent, hateful, racial threats made against me, and I want to bring those to light because I want people to know about these violent, hateful, terrible threats, but these will be censored for being for being violent and hateful. Same with Colin Flaherty. He tried to bring to light acts of violence, clearly not promoting them, but then he's demonetized or kicked off the platform based on that. Things like predatory behavior, stalking, threats, harassment, intimidation, invading privacy, revealing other people's personal information, inciting others to commit violence. Wait, did I already read this? I don't know. Anyway, spam or misleading metadata and scams. Now, everyone hates spam. That's true. Don't create misleading descriptions, tags, titles, or thumbnails in order to increase views. It's not okay to post large amounts of untargeted, unwanted, or repetitive content, including comments and private messages. I mean, that's fine, I guess. Harassment and cyberbullying. It's not okay to post abusive videos and comments on YouTube. Oh, God. What's an abusive video? If I make a video saying, like, hey, this guy's wrong, I think he's an idiot, is that abusive? If harassment crosses the line into malicious attack, it can be reported and may be removed. Okay, so what's malicious attack? I don't know, I've got some pretty bad attacks on the internet. I get messages and stuff saying I should die, stuff saying I should be murdered. I get really bad stuff. I guess I could report it, but I do this other thing where I just ignore it, because it's a comment on the internet and it's not a serious threat. But I mean, in theory, this could be something really bad and something that you'd want to remove. But, the sort of, I wonder, where do they cross the line? I'm guessing it's well within the sort of normal stuff you've always encountered on the internet. I mean, the internet's not supposed to really be safe. It's supposed to be free. But these people, their new version of the internet is a safe. Have you, looked at the recommended videos for YouTube and wherever you are in the world? It's the most sanitized, horrifying, just mainstream garbage most of the time. It's so depressing. This is like their vision for the future of not just the media you consume, but of the world. Right? Anyway, users may be mildly annoyed or petty and should be ignored. Oh, well, so, okay, they're going to do more stuff about... Wait, if I just click learn more... Okay, no, it opens a whole new thing. Okay. But yeah, I think we can agree we don't like this. I'm not going to watch the whole video. So, wow, this is long. Okay. So some examples, reportedly showing pictures of someone and making statements like, look at this creature's teeth, are so disgusting. And similar commentary targeting intrinsic attributes throughout the video. Targeting an individual based on their membership to a protected group, such as saying, look at this filthy slur targeting a protected group. I wish they'd just get hit by trucks. So what about if you say, what about this white male? I wish he would check his privilege. See, that's a oh wait, I forgot. White people aren't a protected group, right? Race is a protected group, but white people are specifically not protected, which is it's very unfortunate. It rather lays bare their intentions. You can see YouTube. I mean, Facebook specifically banned nationalism only for white people. But whatever. Okay, what happens when content violates this policy? If your content violates this policy, we'll remove the content and send you an email to let you know. If this is the first time that you've posted content that violates our community guide, okay, so I mean, I've gotten these posts before and I've just let them expire. Obviously, any post violation I have is well expired by now. Okay, so that was for harassment, cyberbullying, violent or graphic content. I guess we could look more at this, but see, the thing is, like, why wasn't we'll get to the hateful content in a second, but why wasn't that Hunters show by Amazon, why isn't that removed? When Wolfenstein shows a video saying punch Nazis and shows an actual assault against an American citizen, Mr. Richard Spencer, why isn't that not only violent or graphic content, but harassment and cyberbullying? Why isn't that a threat? Because you've called someone the appropriate slur? Because racial slurs and stuff are protected? I mean, people are protected from hearing racial slurs about themselves, but you call someone a Nazi, you call someone a fascist, you call someone a white supremacist, and now it's open season on them. And you might think you're not those things, but your right to speak is exactly the same as anyone who's one of those things. And look at these fucking cutesy graphics. Do you really want the corporation that puts these cutesy graphics up as something you can consume, deciding not only what you can say, but what you can hear? Our products are platforms for free... Oh, no, they're not. Now, what do you think free expression means? Do you think it means like, hey, let's buy this new product? Hey, have you checked out this new empty music video lacking in all soul and content? Hey, check out me playing this fucking video game. I'm going to play Minecraft. Hey, bros, I'm going to play Minecraft for the 5 millionth time. Our products are platforms for free expression, except for expression we don't like, but we don't support content that promotes or condones violence against individuals or groups based on race or ethnic origin, religion, disability, gender, age, nationality, veteran status, caste, sexual orientation, or gender identity. Okay, so you do support... let me see, what you do support me saying, like, violent threats against people that are not in these groups? Like, let's say someone said something bad about dentists. Let's say somebody made like a big threat. You just got back, some dentist, he went to a dental school, they fucked up his teeth, they made a mistake. You went to a dental school to do like a deep drill root canal, and he's upset. And he gets online and he says like horrible, violent, graphic threats towards all dentists. Is that fine? Because that's not on here. You're still a group. You're still a person. You'll still be targeted, but it's not a protected thing. So, this is the what's it called? This is the exception that proves the rule. Now, and a lot of people don't know what that means. What an exception that proves the rule is. I hope you don't mean it means that an exception to a rule proves that the rule works. That's not what it means. Like, let's say you have a sign that says no parking Monday to Friday. Now, the exception proves the rule that it is fine to park on Saturday and Sunday. See, that's what the exception proves the rule here. So if you say, we don't support content that promotes or condones violence against individuals or groups, and then based on race, ethnic origin, religion, disability, gender, age, nationality, veteran status, caste, sexual orientation, or gender identity, things that are not on here, you do support. Like, you're literally saying that, YouTube. You're saying you support and condone. Like, we can read this another way. We can actually read this another way, which is YouTube saying, we do support content that promotes or condones violence against individuals or groups, as long as it's not based on race or ethnic origin, religion, disability, gender, age, nationality, veteran status, caste, sexual orientation, or gender identity, or content that incites hatred on the basis of these core characteristics. So that's also content that incites hatred based on the core characteristics. So I see a lot of hatred against whites. I guess I don't know if I can post that. Can I post all the viciously awful things people say about whites on here, based on these hatreds, but there's this horrible hatred against white people based on white privilege. I mean, I've seen people say about whites that have experienced violence on farms in South Africa. I mean, not only people on farms experience violence, by the way, but people who've experienced farms on violence. People who've experienced violence on farms and all these terrible things. And when we post it, I get all these messages saying, oh, well, you deserve it for white privilege. When I talk about my own experiences with violence and my own things that have happened to me, people say, oh, boo-hoo-hoo. Well, I guess it's now coming back to get you, the things you've done. So, I mean, all their stuff, all their progressive stuff does endorse violence against me based on my inherent racial characteristics. But you see, that's the important thing about the rules we're going to read here, ladies and gentlemen, is they only count until they don't. And that's all that is. Anyway, so let's learn more. Okay, hate speech is not allowed on YouTube. Let's actually watch the video. Why not? Let's see if we got it on double speed. Let's put it on double speed.
True or false? If you make a video that compares people to animals or bugs because of their race or nationality, that could result in a strike on your channel. The answer is true. Hate speech is not allowed on YouTube. We remove content promoting violence or hatred against members of protected groups, including but not limited to race, gender, sexual orientation, or religious affiliation.
Okay, so I guess it's limited, but it's including but not limited to. But once again, that's saying, like, the fact that you've got that there and saying not limited to, you are implying there is some limit. So there's stuff you're not listing. Anyway.
We allow content that includes hate speech, like news coverage of world events, if the primary purpose is educational, documentary, scientific, or artistic in nature. But this is not a free pass to promote hate speech, and it's important that the purpose of the video is not to directly encourage violence or promote hatred against individuals or groups. Let's take a look at...
Okay, so once again, what does that mean? Because you can say that your stuff on white privilege doesn't promote hatred, but you can talk about, the same things, change white to another group. And you'll see this happen. I don't even want to change it to this group because this is one of the videos I'm putting up on YouTube. I don't think I've broken any of these policies yet, but the point of these policies is to keep it somewhat vague, so you don't know when you've broken it.
A few examples. A creator uploads a video using slurs to describe members of a religious group and goes on to say the world would be better off without these people. In another video, a documentary features interviews with people from 2 different religious groups, during which the interviewees use derogatory words. Do either of these videos violate our community guidelines? Yes, the first video violates our hate content policy. YouTube does not allow use of slurs with the intent to attack, dehumanize, or degrade members of protected groups. But what about a documentary that shows people promoting hate speech? Would that be okay? To learn that and more about our policies around hate content, go to the YouTube Help Center article linked here, or use the link in the description. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so yeah, that's my question, because I'll unprivate it right now. A video about, like, people calling for horrific violence in South Africa against white people, like celebrating a pregnant white woman burning to death. So let's see if that's allowed. Okay. While we've always had policies that prohibited hate speech on YouTube, on 5th June we announced some changes on hate speech policies. You can learn more about those changes here. So there's even more stuff to read. The below policy has been updated with those changes. Oh, okay. So, what's this? Our ongoing... So we'll maybe read the other thing first and then this, I guess. Okay, anyway. Hate speech is not allowed on YouTube. We remove content promoting violence or hatred against individuals or groups based on the following attributes. There's more stuff here. So age, caste, disability, ethnicity, gender, identity or expression, nationality, race, immigration status, religion, sex or gender, sexual orientation, victims of a major violent event and their kin, Oh gosh, I wonder what this one is. It's just any victims. It's just any victims of a major violent event or their kin. So, I mean, I guess it's not you can't call it a major event because I just got shot on a farm, right? It was major to me. It's major to me. It's major to the 80,000 or so white South Africans estimated that have been killed through interracial violence. It's a massive deal to us. But okay, and veteran status. So this is this to help like promote all the terrible wars that are going on right now? Because it's like all the entertainment industry is like in bed with the military industrial complex. What about an ISIS veteran? Can we talk bad things about ISIS, or is that wrong? Well, we can talk bad things. We can structurally critique ISIS, but we can't say like some actual member of ISIS. Like we can't make any personal attacks on them because they're a veteran, right? If you find content that violates this policy, please report it. Instructions for reporting violations of our community guidelines are available here. If you find many videos, comments, or creators of the channel that you wish to report, visit our reporting tool. I think we should all just report stuff that breaks us against white people. People have tried, it doesn't work. I actually saw some people post stuff like it, saying it's okay to be white, that gets hit as a hate speech, but it's okay to be black doesn't. It's okay, they're like threatening violence against people, but replacing the word white with black or Jewish or Arab or anything like that, and just seeing the differences of reaction to it, and things that are flagged as hate speech and things that are not flagged as hate speech when the race changes, when the group changes, even though they say race is protected, depending on which race you say. I mean, you can see people doing this. I'm sure you all know about people doing this. So anyway, if you're posting content, don't post content on YouTube if the purpose of that content is to do one or more of the following. Encourage Wait, did I say this already? No, I don't think so. This is a lot of repetition of like vague stuff. I wonder if they're going to use it to like pretend it's coherent. Encourage violence against individuals or groups based on their attributes noted above. We don't allow threats on YouTube, and we treat implied calls for violence as real threats. You can what do you mean implied calls for violence? You can learn about our policies and threat and harassment, incite hatred against individuals or groups based on the attributes noted. But how do you know if someone's inciting hatred? I never went on in any of my videos that got struck. I never was like, you should hate this group, hate them. It was, I said my opinion of things they were doing. I guess I can't say a member of a group. And even then I didn't say everyone in a group does that. That's silly. I go, this person's doing this thing and they're a member of a group. I guess I could have been more, can you not say that? I guess, could I just say this individual does it and show enough individuals for people to draw the connection? I mean, you guys do this with white people all the time. There's so many videos. Dear white people, look it up now. Dear white people, white privilege. You are inciting animosity, at least, if you're going to even pretend it's not outright hatred. Anyway. Okay. Dehumanizing individuals or groups by calling them subhuman, comparing to animals, insects, pests, diseases, or any other non-human entity. Do you guys remember that Sam Hyde one where you compared this one woman to a bug because of her eyes? But I mean, that's silly. Like, what if you say, oh, that guy really looks like a platypus. Look at his duck bill. It's like, no, that's not allowed. Praising or glorifying violence against individuals or groups based on the attributes noted above. Yeah, well, I mean, I actually don't object to that, but like, what about fuck the police? What about a lot of violent rap songs? You'll say, well, no, that's artistic expression. But then what about someone like Mr. Bond or Moon Man? What about someone like Paddy Tarleton? What about someone like Byron De La Vandal, who in the land of the free and the home of the brave was sentenced to corrective training for sending a girl a picture of a banana, right? Is that... Anyway, claiming that individuals or groups are physically or mentally inferior, deficient, or diseased based on any of the attributes noted above. This includes statement that one group is less than another, calling them less intelligent, less capable, or damaged. So if I say, like, white people are less capable of dealing with the sun, like white people burn in the sun easier, is that not allowed? What about if a doctor talks about melanoma versus sickle cell anemia? Well, one group is more likely to get it than another. Is that hate speech? Is saying that black people are more likely to suffer from sickle cell anemia, which is a disease, and white people are more likely to suffer from melanoma, which is a disease? Is that hate speech? Because you're saying a statement of fact. What if I say that white people do better in low light situations and a black person who's living somewhere like Alaska or whatever should maybe think about getting more vitamin D injections? Does that count? Is that hate speech? Anyway, alleges superiority of a group over those with any attributes noted above to justify violence, discrimination, segregation, or exclusion. Okay, but what if I just say, like, if I talk about people in Kenya, not only Kenya, but a certain village in Kenya, not only a certain village in Kenya, but a certain part of that village in Kenya, are way overrepresented for the 100-meter dash or whatever. They're way overrepresented in the world's top, I think, long-distance runners, or it might be runners in general. Now, if I'm pointing that out, I'm not saying that other people should be excluded from running, right? And what if I say they're as fast as a cheetah? Oh, look at Uwe Boll. He's as fast as a cheetah. That breaks the... I'm going to post it because I hope I'm not going to get this flagged for saying... I guess it's not dehumanizing. It's complimentary, right? Is that the thing? But what if I say that, well, people aren't supposed to be fast? People are... There's other things that are more important. Anyway, alleges superiority of a group over that with any attributes noted to justify violence, discrimination, segregation, or exclusion. So what if you say that white people have this thing called white privilege and they should suffer discrimination based on that in the form of affirmative action? What about that? That breaks this. That breaks this rule. But you don't care, YouTube. You will promote that shit. These terms and conditions are in no way coherent or consistent. And I mean, you all knew that. But it's just, with everything going on in the world, it's just, sometimes I just feel like, I don't know, it's just such bullshit. Does anyone, I guess people read this and believe it and think it's fair. Some people read and go, oh, it's not far enough. Like Sacha Baron Cohen, who made his fucking life, doing things that were considered taboo and filthy and dirty and showing it to huge amounts of people for lots of money. But if you at home with your webcam, you want to say something that this system thinks is unacceptable, you get crushed. And Mr. Cohen going up and saying, well, more stuff should be banned, more speech should be censored, because the stuff I do that push the boundaries I don't like, well, that's fine. But other people pushing boundaries I do like, that's hate speech. That's got to be shut down. Okay, conspiracy theories ascribing evil, corrupt, or malicious intent to individuals or groups based on any of the attributes noted above. So once again, white privilege is a conspiracy theory, right? Isn't it? Isn't talking about the terrible things white people have done throughout history and uniquely singling that out? Isn't that a conspiracy theory? Isn't that ascribing corrupt or malicious intent to white people? All of this, it's not YouTube. You know that you were never going to enforce this, but I don't even think we register as people to them. I think that really they are suffering from a sort of psychopathology where they don't even understand that the other side exists, that someone with a different viewpoint exists. And when they go, oh, we accept different viewpoints, they mean viewpoints similar to theirs in all the ways that matter, an endless variety in stupid bullshit that doesn't matter. Basically like a cereal aisle, Okay, call for the subjugation or domination of individuals or groups based on any of the attributes noted above. Okay, so if you're like, well, white people need to check their privilege and let other people speak, that's subjugation, right? But whatever. Deny that well-documented violent events took place. I wonder what this is. So, maybe denying farm murders, maybe denying the Holodomor, right? Maybe denying the rape of Nanking. I don't know. What do you think this could be? I don't know. I wonder what that is. I wonder why you can't say I guess any violent event, right? Not like one specific one. What if I deny the violence against the Palestinian women and children, or even say it's justified? Would that be removed? I don't know. I feel kind of like that one would slide, right? Anyway, attacks on a person's emotional, romantic, and or sexual attraction to another person. Okay, so easy one here, pedophiles. You can't attack, according to this rule, you can't attack, not only attack pedophiles, you can't attack the idea of pedophilia, right? It's worded in such a way here that they've made people who are sexually attracted to children a protected group. I mean, that you have to, once you realize you're making apologies for the worst thing a person can do, which is harm or compromise the innocence of a child, you have to, if you have any sort of morality or soul left in you at all, you have to step back. You have to step back and question what you're saying, what you're doing, okay? Content containing hateful supremacist propaganda, including the recruitment of new members or requests for financial support for their ideology. So you're just saying hateful supremacist propaganda. You mean like, I don't know, like the US military or the Israeli military trying for recruits and saying that the other enemy is bad and you need to fight them because they're all terrorists or they're all anti-Semites. Doesn't that count? Of course not. Because these are just rules they put in place to have plausible deniability. Music videos promoting hateful supremacism in the lyrics, metadata, or imagery. So here Zurius, who of course posted nothing but videos. You know, he gets flagged. I wonder if here just me mentioning people they've flagged could do it. Guys, don't join any groups, I guess. I'm just going to say here, don't join groups, don't do anything. Just accept all this as it happens. I think that's the best thing to do. And also, a lot of these places are very obvious honeypots. Okay, we've got educational content, right? So like my video about all the people calling for violence against white South Africans, I might have said what kind of people they are. Maybe that's like the trick. Don't say what kind of people they are. So if I did, I'll rewatch this and cut it out. We may allow content that includes hate speech if the primary purpose is educational, documentary, scientific, or artistic in nature. This is not a free pass to promote hate speech. Examples include a documentary about a hate group. Educational content that isn't supporting the group or promoting ideas would be allowed. Documentary promoting violence or hatred wouldn't be allowed. A documentary about a scientific study of humans. A documentary about how theories have changed over time, even if it includes theories about the inferiority or superiority of specific groups, would be allowed because it's educational. We won't allow a documentary claiming that there's scientific evidence today that an individual group is inferior or subhuman. So what does that even mean? You know, subhuman, what does that mean? You're saying a particular group is subhuman. So if I say that an actual group of animals, like there's so many little assumptions here. One is that you know definitely what is a human. So if I say Australopithecus africanus was subhuman, it wasn't human yet. It was a forebearer to humanity, but it's not human yet. Would that break this? Because some people might include it. Some people might say, no, I think that's already a person. It's a different kind of person, but I count that within the family of humanity. What if I say that Neanderthals weren't human? What if I say they weren't Homo sapiens, they were subhuman? What does that mean? You know, I mean, I personally would count them as human if they were still alive, but some people wouldn't. They draw the line before that, right? Okay, anyway, examples. Here are examples of hate speech not allowed. Oh, wait. Promote historical. So I think I skipped there, sorry. Scientific evidence. So you can't put scientific evidence to say, what do you mean inferior? Like, once again, if I post scientific evidence that shows that white people are more likely to get melanoma, black people are more likely to get sickle cell anemia, you're superior or inferior at getting this disease, right? whatever. Historical footage of an event like World War II that does not promote violence or hatred. So, I mean, we all know what this is about. This policy applies to videos, video descriptions, comments, live streams, and any other YouTube product or featured for educational content that includes hate speech. This content must appear in the images or audio of the video itself. Providing it in their title description is insufficient. Okay. Wait, this context. Okay, so I guess my video showing like them calling for violence wouldn't work. I'd have to have like the disclaimer there saying this is not a call for violence. This is to highlight violence against a group. This is to get support for this group. Maybe a spoken thing. I don't know. I still think they'll just kick me off. So yeah, you guys follow me on BitChute, where I'm allowed to just say what I think, which is, I think that's the most important thing. Whatever your interpretation of the First Amendment of America is, or whether you think free speech should be allowed, I think that, I'm not American, but I think that people should be allowed to say what they think, and I think we should hear what they think. I even support this right for hate speech against, real hate speech against me in South Africa. There are politicians who say terrible things, who say that me and my people all need to suffer horrible violence and extermination. And while obviously I don't support anyone calling a direct call to that, but all that happens now is with our hate speech laws, someone says that, some politician says that, and they'll give it a slap on the wrist, and everyone acts like it's not happening. And, South Africa is officially a safe place for me, despite all the violence and threats of violence I've suffered. Right? Okay, examples. Here are examples of hate speech not allowed on YouTube. I'm glad this violent event happened. They got what they deserved, referring to persons with attributes noted above. Okay. So, a person with attributes noted above are dogs, or person with attributes noted above are like animals. Okay. More examples. Get out of here and punch a person with attributes noted above. So, what if you say, like, punch a Nazi? Right? I guess that's not a protected group, but what if in another one you put that thing saying, well, white people are Nazis? Well, not all white people, but yeah, white people. Like they did, once again, that very obvious bit of propaganda that put out by Amazon Prime. Everyone in groups with attributes noted above are all criminals and thugs. They're all criminals and thugs. Okay, what if I just say most of them are criminals and thugs? Is that okay? Most people in groups with attributes noted above are mostly criminals and thugs. Despite making up only 13% of groups with attributes noted above, they make up over 50% of all criminals and thugs. The person with attributes noted above is the scum of the earth. And we need Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones to help save us. People with attributes noted above are a disease. People with attributes noted above are less intelligent than us because their brains are smaller. Our existence is threatened by a group with any of the attributes noted above, so we should drive them out every chance we get. So, okay, what if I just say our existence is threatened by them, and what should we do? What should you do with someone who threatens your existence? What should you do? Group with any of the attributes noted above has an agenda to run the world and get rid of us. So, what if this is true? I mean, low key, right? But what if this is true? You just can't say anything, right? Shouldn't this be up for discussion if this were true? Attributes noted, and I mean, can you say, if you say like, oh, these white people are racists, they want to get rid of us, why isn't that hate? That's not hate speech, that's promoted by you. Group with any of the attributes noted above has an agenda to rid the world, get rid of us. Attribute noted above is just a form of mental illness that needs to be cured. Okay, so like if you say like pedophilia is a mental illness that needs to be cured, right? Like that's literally what you're saying here, because you support any attraction to any other persons, unless of course you think children aren't people. And I hope you realize that children are people, YouTube. Okay, all the so-called victims of this violent event are actors. No one was hurt, and this is just a false flag. Shouting disabled people are pests at someone even if the person doesn't have a disability. But what if they do? Surely you can't yell this at a person. Oh, okay, I get it. They're saying you obviously can't say this against a disabled person, but you also can't say it against a person who doesn't have a disability, and you're using it disparagingly, and disparaging someone for pretending when showing their gender identity or gender expression. Well, what if I'm a racist sexual, YouTube, and you're doing that now? You'll please respect my gender identity as a white man who doesn't hate himself. Can I have that? All the so-called victims of this are actors. No one was hurt. So what if I say this about a movie where no one was hurt? All the so-called victims of Jaws are actually fine. They were actors. Some of them maybe died of old age by now, but they're fine. Everyone in the movie The Sands of Iwo Jima, they didn't die from that depicted violence. It was a, I guess they're implying it's an event people think are real, but it's not stating that. It's assuming that it's not real. But here you could say, like, people who died in the fucking Lars von Trier movie Melancholia, where the whole world dies, right? Those people are just actors. Shouting, people with attributes noted above are pests, as someone regarding or whether the person does or does not have the alleged attributes. Okay. So, people who pester people are pests. Oh no! John Leguizamo. He was a pest in that movie, The Pest. No, it's not allowed. Video game content that has been developed or modified or modded to promote violence or hatred against a group with any of the attributes noted above. So, what about like Wolfenstein 3D? Because I know they're Nazis, right? But the way their promotion goes with it, it's clearly not just saying people with an ideology need to be targeted. And what if I say people, where does this line draw? It seems that the line is just drawn at anything they don't like, right? Because I can't attack people based on other ideologies. I guess maybe I could go, communists, the communists, it's going to be a red dawn. I can talk shit like that maybe, I guess. The globalists, it's the globalists, they're going to get us. But yeah, I'm okay. Video game content, blah, blah, blah. Still talking about things like Moon or whatever. Please remember that these are just some examples, and don't post content if you think it might violate this policy. So you see, once again, this is about the chilling effect. This is about the whole, well, you don't know. If you don't know, you got to be sure. You don't know. What happens when content violates this policy? If your content violates this policy, we'll remove the content and send you an email to let you know. If this is the first time you've posted content that violates our community guidelines, you'll get a warning with no penalty into your channel. Surely you'll get a strike, right? If it's not, we'll issue a strike. Okay, then you get a strike. Your channel will be terminated if you receive 3 strikes. Well, the strikes expire, right? You can learn more about our strike system here. I mean, certain people have been removed without getting the strikes. They've said their channel was in good standing and it just gets removed. If we think that your content comes close to hate speech, we may limit YouTube features available for the content. You can learn more about limited features if you think it comes close to hate speech. So definitely the examples I gave as hypotheticals of what someone else could do, and this is a documentary, this is talking about these other things. It's not saying any of these other things. I'm saying it here in the video. I might add a disclaimer at the beginning. May limit it available for that content. So wow, whatever. This is all such vague bullshit. The importance of context, recent transparency report, limited features for certain videos. Let's look at the importance of context and recent transparency for certain videos. Let's see here. I think we all know what stuff was added here, right? Continue to reward trusted creators and enforce our monetization policies, reducing borderline content. That means content that's like not really good. It's not really even content because it's not good enough to be content, but whatever. The importance of context. Context is very important for all videos. But it's particularly important when posting graphic content. Okay, well, I'm not posting graphic content. I'm just talking over your own stuff, talking about your community guidelines, what you should do. Consider the intention of your video. Well, my intention is to entertain people, and for this to be at least somewhat humorous. I guess it's not been that funny. My mind's on other things. Is it to inform and educate, or to shock and incite? Well, it's to critique. I'm sort of doing a critique of YouTube culture and the sort of internet monopoly culture, a sort of culture of critique, if you will. Provide voiceover or text narration for your video if you can do this while recording, or add it later while editing. Okay, so I'm going to do that at the beginning, I guess. Make sure that the context can be seen or heard easily by someone watching the video. It's important to add information to the description and title as well as to the video content itself. You can learn about the context of our creator. Oh, Jesus. Okay, let's see here.
Thumbnails, titles, and even comments in chat. We do understand it can be frustrating when an action is taken on one of your videos and you aren't sure why. In this video, we'll walk you through the guidelines so that you have a better understanding of what is and isn't okay on YouTube. So let's get started.
Wait, didn't I just watch this?
First
I feel
of all,
like we watched
YouTube
this.
generally doesn't allow nudity or sexual content, including pornography.
Okay.
But videos that discuss sexuality from an education, documentary, scientific, or artistic perspective may be the exceptions to the rule. If your video fits into one of these categories...
we watched this.
call
We
it out
watched
clearly.
this. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, whatever. I don't know. It's what you should do, what you shouldn't do. See, okay, so I thought reading this, I'd have a better idea of what you can and can't say. So let me see if I get it right. I can't say certain group does this, or this person's part of a certain group, he does this. I can't say, look at this person, like derogatory thing here, but I can say this person is doing this thing. So man, it has to be dry. Like, this is the thing, all the political stuff they're now like promoting, they just get away with anything. They get away with anything because none of that's counted as hate speech. That's all counted as free speech, and you just got to deal with that. You just got to take your lumps, because you're lumping proletariat, so you take your lumps, right? Anyway, that's all I think about that for now. Please follow me on Gab and BitChute so long as they stay up. Sorry for the long absence, I guess. I'll try to put stuff out. I've had a real hard time of it the last 2 years, guys. I know we've all had problems, we've all had life, but geez, man, life really feels like it's done a number on me, and it seems like it's not done yet. Oh, that's a call. Okay, anyway, I'll see you guys later. Bye.